Hi, I'm Quinn. Here's what I played in January, February, March, and April of 2026. I started my year with Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I was probably the world's only JRPG fan that hadn't played it yet, but I finally fixed that. What do you know, the game with universal acclaim and hundreds of awards is actually pretty good. This game especially excels at story and characters. The whole cast is very endearing and all expertly performed by their respective voice actors. Not a single weak link here. The story was solid enough for the first half, but the back half of the game is some of the most insane stuff I've ever played. I could see some not liking certain plot developments, but I thought it was all incredible. The battle system in this game was really fun. The blend of turn based gameplay with real time parrying and dodging is done really well. I'm shocked I haven't seen more RPGs that do that. I really liked how, since you can negate all damage, they made a lot of the bosses extremely difficult. You have to learn the fights and actually get good at fighting the bosses, which is something I haven't seen in many turn based games. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is like the only other one I've played that does this. It was so much fun. The environments look nice, though I did feel like the way forward could have been a bit clearer at certain points. There's several places where I got lost or accidentally went the way I came after a cutscene or missed a side area because I thought it was the main path. They don't give you a whole lot to go off of. I respect the approach to UI minimalism, though I feel like they didn't design the areas with minimalism in mind. For the most recent Game Awards, I made a video talking about my picks for awards, where I had to say I haven't played Expedition 33 a bunch. Since I have played it now, here's my updated picks for everything that it was nominated for. Anyways, yeah, this is a must play game. It should not have taken me this long to play it. Next, I played Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's really fun. It's nice playing a brand new 2D Mario that isn't just the exact same game with slightly different levels. There's actual creativity throughout, and that's before you get to the Wonder effects. The Wonder effects were a fun gimmick. They maybe could have gone a little further with it, used less repeat effects, but it was fun. I wouldn't mind if they came back in the next one. My only complaint with the game is the badge system. I did not like it. Why weren't they permanent upgrades or toggleable changes? Why can you only use one at a time? I figured a late game or post game unlockable would be another badge slot, but no, you just get one, despite most of them not overlapping with each other. At least the badges are fairly insignificant to the overall enjoyment. Hey, me from the future here, the Switch 2 version adds dual badges. It's a dumb fix for a dumb issue, but it's still a fix, I guess. Other than that, excellent game. Glad I finally played it. Next, I played Silent Hill F, Day 1 Edition. Yep. I have no strong feelings towards this one. It was kinda just pretty good. Combat was solid, but it did grow kinda stale towards the end. Visuals were excellent, music was excellent. There's plenty of cool things here. A lot of it kinda just didn't leave a big impression on me, unfortunately. My one big issue with this game is that I really didn't like how they handled the multiple endings. I don't want to say too much, but it feels like they kind of expect you to play through the game multiple times. While I feel like Silent Hill 2, for example, just had a variety of endings, none of which were, like, noticeably more important than others. Maybe give this one a shot if you were interested, but it's not a very high recommendation from me personally. Next, I started a second playthrough of Control. I figured this time I should buy the DLC that I never actually played. It was cheaper to just buy the full Ultimate Edition than it would have been to just buy the DLC for the copy I already had. So now I own two PC copies of Control. I love Remedy, and I wanted to replay this game now that I know what Remedy is actually like, since my first playthrough was 100% blind. All I knew about it was that it was nominated for a lot of awards. I feel like I'm appreciating it a lot more this time around. There's a lot of really cool stuff with visuals and designs that I don't remember paying too much attention to my first playthrough. Also, it's a lot easier to follow the story when you know what you're getting into. Remedy can be very weird sometimes, and I did not know that before. I'm still slowly working my way through this one, but I don't think I'll have any more to say for next time. Can't wait for Control Resident. Next, I started playing Mario and Luigi Brothership. Where's the ESRB rating? I'm still fairly early in this one, maybe like a fourth of the way through it. There's a lot to like so far, but there's also a bit too much to dislike. Stuff like the art style, writing, animations, and soundtrack is all great so far. Perfectly captures the originals. As for some issues, one simple mistake completely ruins the battle system. In past games, with Mario, you use A to select an option in the menu, and then A with timing to attack. For Luigi, you press B to select and B to attack. In this one, Mario is still A to select an attack. Luigi uses B to attack, but only A works to select in the menus. It just feels awkward needing to move from A to B as the attack starts, and it completely breaks any muscle memory from the past games. A simple patch adding an option in the menu would fix this. I have no clue why they haven't done so yet. It's such an easy thing to fix. Also, weirdly, Luigi kinda just lags behind you in overworld exploration. You might think this would cause you to mess up jumps, but no, he'll just automatically jump, which is kind of awkward because you'll try to jump with the B button, but the game will decide you won't make it, so Luigi just jumps straight up and then auto jumps over the gap. It just doesn't feel good. For the last issue I have, the frame rate is flat out horrendous. It's 30 FPS with constant stutters, even when playing the game on a Switch 2. I do not understand why this game wasn't a high priority to get a Switch 2 patch. It desperately needs it. Fix the battle system with that patch too while you're at it. While the game certainly has issues, it does recapture a lot of what I loved with the older ones. I just wish it didn't get so many little things wrong. Next, I tried the demo for Pragmata. I haven't followed this game too closely, I kinda just randomly gave the demo a shot. I liked it quite a bit. I really liked the combat, where you have to do a little hacking minigame while also shooting and avoiding the enemies. It was pretty fun. I also enjoyed the dynamic between the two main characters. I just kinda wish the little girl had shoes on. Why did she have to be barefoot? I don't like it. I'll most likely play this game eventually, but it's not one I'm gonna rush out to buy. Next, I played the Persona 5 Tactica DLC. I bought this months ago for cheap and then entirely forgot that I did that. It sure is more Tactica. It's nice seeing more of the Royal Trio, but this DLC takes place before any of the major character developments from Royal actually happened. All of the characterization in this DLC was fun. The overall plot is not that great, though. There are some pretty glaring plot holes. As for the gameplay, it's nothing too crazy, just a solid amount of new maps. Overall, solid DLC. Worth the, I think, $6 that I paid for it. It's probably not worth the full 20 though. Next, I started playing Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I started playing this after the new Castlevania was announced. Side note, oh my god. Anyways, I was under the impression that this game was heavily inspired by Castlevania. No, it just is Castlevania. Like, it's shocking how close it is. Anyways, I haven't played a ton of this yet. I'm really bad at actually playing the games I have on PC. Next, I picked up Resident Evil Requiem. This is a very strong Game of the Year contender. It perfectly evolves upon everything they've done with all of the recent games. The dual protagonist system works really well to do both the horror of 7 and 8 and the action of the remakes. The horror section in particular, the Care Center, is one of the best areas in the entire franchise. It's so perfectly, intricately designed. So many of the enemies have distinct personalities in how they behave, both before and after they see you. It's fairly simple stuff overall, but it adds so much. As for the other half of the game, they somehow managed to make the near perfect combat from 4 Remake even better. Movement is so fluid, there's so much cool stuff you can do. How is there no mercenaries mode in this game yet? Found the story to be really interesting. The twists around who the villains are and what they're after were all really fun. All of the voice acting in this game was excellent, especially Angela Santalbano as Grace. I think they might have actually killed her mom in that recording booth. Like, Jesus Christ, that was too real. This game was genuinely incredible. It doesn't quite beat out either version of 4 as my favorite game in the series, but it's very high up there for me. Next, I picked up the Switch 2 version of Blueprints. I like the basic gameplay loop, but I do not understand this game yet. I did what I thought you were supposed to do, only to find out that you are in fact not supposed to just do that. I don't really know what else to do, but I will figure it out eventually. This is definitely a game I'm gonna slowly chip away at in the background, rather than being the main game that I focus on, but I will keep playing it. Next, I played through Raidou Remastered. I really enjoyed it. The combat is really fun. It's like no other Atlas game I've played, and yet it still feels like an Atlas game. I really like the balance between light attacks refilling your magic while heavy attacks do significantly more damage. It feels slightly more involved than just mindless button mashing. Not that I dislike that or anything. The story was enjoyable. I like the detective agency setting. Thought it was neat how the side quests are all smaller cases for you to solve for the agency. The soundtrack was really good. I didn't know Shoji Meguro did the soundtrack before starting. You can tell. I will say, the end wasn't the best. The last area does the thing I don't like where you have to fight all the bosses again, but they aren't changed at all beyond stats scaled to your level. All the attacks were the exact same. Also, a solid half of the final boss was flat out awful. The first and last phases were good, but the middle was so repetitive and mindless. The game certainly had some issues, but I still enjoyed it overall. I'd recommend it, and I'll definitely give the sequel a shot if they ever port or remaster it. Next, I picked up all of these games for really cheap. When am I going to play all of these? So I was actually going to end the video here at the end of March, but then I got sick and couldn't actually record my voice for the segments I procrastinated writing. So the video goes on. Turns out I did find some time to play some of these. Started April with playing Resident Evil Remake. For some reason, despite loving every Resident Evil game I've played, I kinda just never went out of my way to play any of the older games. After 9, I decided that I should do that. I'm glad I did because dang, this game was really good. The level design was perfect, the story and characters strike the perfect balance of a fun, cheesy horror story, while not being too cheesy like the original. I was unsure how I'd like the fixed camera angles and tank controls, since this was my first time playing a classic Resident Evil. I actually really liked the camera. It really adds to the atmosphere in a way a third or first person camera doesn't. I did not like the tank controls at all though. I thought they worked great for the original 4 with the behind the back camera, but I just found myself constantly getting disorientated. Turns out you can just not play with tank controls in this version. You sometimes get stuck between 2 camera angles, but I found that a lot easier to manage than fumbling around trying to figure out where I'm facing. Overall, great game, would highly recommend. Next, I decided to play Star Fox 64 after watching the Super Mario Galaxy movie. It's pretty good. For some reason, I never knew how arcadey this game is. It's a fairly short game, and you have limited lives and no continues. I made it like 3/4 of the way through and got a game over. I tried again and got to basically the same place. Overall, I did like the game, but it felt a little bit janky. Aiming just did not feel precise enough to me. I enjoyed what I played, but I think I have my fill of Star Fox for now. I'm definitely interested in checking out more of the franchise. The only other game I've played is Zero, which makes me extremely motion sick. I'm hoping they make a new game for the Switch or Switch 2 soon, with normal controls and more precise aiming, preferably with motion control or mouse control. Next, I played through the Persona 3 Reload DLC. This DLC's a bit of a mixed bag if you ask me. I kinda thought the dungeon gameplay was the weakest part of Persona 3, and the first, 12 hours of this 18-hour expansion was basically just dungeons with minimal amounts of anything else. That being said, I really enjoyed the crumbs of story in those 12 hours, and I really enjoyed the last 5 hours where the story gets a lot more focus and there's actual interesting boss fights. I would honestly recommend just watching the cutscenes for this one, unless you really want more Persona 3 dungeons. Lastly, I finally continued Cyberpunk after only playing it for 3 hours after buying it for full price at the Switch 2 launch. Not my smartest purchase, admittedly, but I'm really enjoying it now that I'm not getting distracted by a big new game coming out every couple weeks. I'll talk more about it next time when I'll have theoretically finished it. This video has taken me long enough. See you next time.